Hello, you guys. It's Fabio coming back with another video. Look a mess. Excuse me, guys. I'm not prepped up today. I apologize about yesterday, you guys, or last night. I was supposed to go live. It looks a little crooked here. Let me see. Let's see. Hold on. Hey, big time. You all right?
Yes, sir.
Let me see here. All right, guys. Sorry, once again, guys. Sorry about yesterday. I was supposed to go live last night. I didn't go live last night. I had a lot going on. I even got to this place pretty late. So sometimes, in business, things happen. Things don't always go to plan. So here I am today. What I want to talk about today, guys, and I was talking to one of the people that go through my coaching, correct? So what we were kind of talking about, and I think I talked about this before, and I'm going to talk about it again, is that um, customer retention, customer retention versus building new clients or getting new clientele. Okay, let's talk about this, and this probably won't be a real long live. Um, we'll see how it goes. Uh, I had a pretty much a debate with one of the guys in my coaching about picking up new contracts versus uh, retaining. So Fabio, so lately you've been giving out a lot of information. My notebook is full with a lot of good information. Thank you, Armin Mendez. So I was talking to one of the guys in my coaching, and we were talking about customer retention versus picking up new contracts, right? So he debated me back and forth, where he says new contracts is more important than customer retention. And I told him I disagree wholeheartedly. I wholeheartedly disagree. He said picking up new contracts is more important than customer retention. Now, this also would be the same guy that told me that he lost his biggest contract. Okay, he lost his biggest contract. So he has several different contracts, but his biggest contract he lost. And hey, Kay, how are you? Hey, Leslie, how are you? He lost his biggest contract because of customer retention. He's not paying attention to the customer, right? Pretty much. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's more focused on building and growth than he is retaining the client, retaining the customer. So I gave him an analogy that I think fit perfect uh, for a demonstration purpose on the coaching that I think fit well with him, and explained to him because he was really hurt about losing his biggest contract. And although he has other clients, if he felt some type of way about losing that big client, right? Um, Here's the thing, guys. Customer retention to me is everything. Building your clientele to me is everything, right? Now, the argue is what's more important. What's more, customer retention, retaining your customers, right? Or having them to return to a product or a service, or building it, like getting, volume, getting more clients, getting more customers. It depends on who you ask. Well, when anybody asks me that, I would tell them that customer retention is more important. Here's the thing. You can get 10 contracts, but if for every 10 contracts you're losing two, you're losing three, then to me, you're not building. Okay. In a sense, it almost seems like you're replacing, right? It almost seems like you're replacing. So you have to build that foundation. You have to have that retention. You have to maintain that client, okay, in order to grow to the multitude that you will want to grow to. Now, the example that I gave the gentleman on my coaching call, and I give it to you guys right here, is if you're building a house, if you're building a house, okay, and you're using bricks, we're going to use bricks. You're building a house, you're using bricks, um, and every day you add more bricks to build this house, you're losing, 5, 10, 15 bricks. I think we all would agree that it'll take a little longer to build that house, to get that house up, right? But if you have a tight foundation, right, the retention is there. Like whatever, cement or whatever you're using to retain those bricks to hold them in place. So when you come back tomorrow to add more bricks to it, now you'll probably get that house up a lot faster, opposed to if you was losing 10, 15 bricks a day, right? So if you look at it from a commercial cleaning aspect, not that you're losing contracts per day, guys. And if you're just joining me, go ahead and like this video. It's not that you're losing contracts a day. It's if you don't focus on the contracts at hand, it will be a lot harder, in my personal opinion, for you to grow that business the long way, for you to grow it to massive heights, right? Because you have to be able to maintain what you currently got. Like the gentleman that I talked to on the coaching, he lost his biggest contract because he was more focused. And I get the notion, I understand, when you get one contract, you want to get another. When you get another one, you want to get 3, 4, 5. You want to get more and more. So I understand that. I was thinking the same way when I first started my business. But I also knew early on that it was very, very important for me to retain what I had. That's why it took me a little longer to hire. I didn't hire right away, right? Because like I told you in other videos, I was a little afraid to delegate the work out because, number one, it took me so long to get the contracts, right? So now I'm kind of babying the contracts, right? I don't want to relinquish that power. I don't want to delegate that job out. I don't want to, pass it along. But eventually, the bigger I grew, the more I'm going to have to eventually pass this task on. I'm not going to be able to do this, right? So for the longest for me, it took me a long time to delegate that work out because I was more focused. Every day I went to the office to clean that office, I was more worried about effing up than I was about retaining the client. Every day when I drive up to the place, I park and I get my stuff on, I get my gear, I get my stuff ready, I'm ready to clean. I was more worried about what if I F up, what if I miss something, what if I did something wrong, and then they call me and say they don't want my service no more, they don't want my company no more. That's how it was in the beginning for me, and maybe for you guys too. For you guys to get your first account, your second account, your third account, you're focused on that. I really don't want to F up. I can't afford to F up because you know how important the money is to you, right? But I do understand the rush of picking up one contract and want to pick up another and another and another. You want to grow, okay? So like I said, like I titled this video, customer retention versus growth, or whatever I said on the title there, versus growing your contracts. To me, customer retention is more important. It's more important, especially in the very, very beginning. Now, am I saying get one contract and don't focus on getting another contract? No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is if you get one contract, build that brand recognition between you and the client, right? Build that loyalty. That's what it's going to come down to. It's got to be a certain level of loyalty, right? You got to build that. You're not gonna get that overnight. It's like respect, right? You got to build that between you and the client, okay? And the way that you build that is, being there on time, operating professionally, catering to their needs, making sure you're doing everything that's supposed to be done that you was contracted to do, right? Going the extra mile at times, a lot of times people feel like, well, I wasn't contracted to do that, so I don't do that, right? And in the beginning, I was doing a little bit extra than I was contracted to do, really, because I'm like, man, I need this contract. I don't want them to let me go for something so petty, right? So I would go ahead and knock it out, right? But I still have a lot of contracts, even though I don't make a whole hell of a lot of money from them, but I still have a lot of contracts today that I got back in 2012. Now they're more smaller contracts because I started out small. I got smaller to medium-sized contracts, whereas a lot of my contracts today is a little bit bigger. So I still have those smaller contracts, right? Not making a whole hell of a lot of money on them, but I'm still retaining those contracts. Okay, so from 2012 up to 2020, that's quite a bit of time in between to retain a contract. Right now, I don't have all the contracts, obviously, right? I've lost some along the way, but that's a long time to be able to retain contracts. Okay, so the thing is, guys, is that whatever contract you get, especially in the very early infant stage of your business, you want to cater to them. You want to pay attention to those contracts. You also want to grow, but you want to pay attention to what you picked up first. That's my personal opinion. Now, other people might say, well, I disagree with you right there, Fabio, and I think that growing and making more money and growing, that's what you're in business for. I totally get it, bro. I totally get it. But in the very, very beginning, when you get that one contract, you have to be able to focus on those contracts in the early on stages, right? Because if you just get one contract, two contracts, three contracts, right? You get those contracts and you're steady growing, you're picking up contracts. You're not learning these contracts. You're not catering to these contracts. You're not building that loyalty with these contact people with these contracts, right? You started getting sloppy. You started messing up. The training isn't there. You're forgetting to check off your checklist as you work through the site. You're not checking off your checklist. You're not catering to their needs and what you were signed up to do. But yet you're picking up new contracts. It's just like you're replacing. You're never going to grow to the massive rate that you would want to grow, or to the heights that you would want to grow, because you keep losing contracts. You're not able to retain anything, right? So again, like I say, what about the brick house? If you're building a brick house and you put so many bricks together per day to build this house, and you start losing bricks like every single day, you lose 2, you lose 3, you lose 10, get to losing bricks. It's going to take you a very long time to build that house because your foundation isn't tight. Guys, if you're watching me, go ahead and make sure you like the video, guys. I think it's really some impactful information here, because I think a lot of people do get confused with, should they hurry up and try to grow, get a lot of new contracts, or should they pick up contracts and retain it? Hey, how's it going, Joe? And retain it. Joe, make sure you like. Kay, make sure you like if you're on here. Leslie, make sure you like. R. Melendez, make sure you like. Come on, guys, get these likes up. Come on, I'm giving you a lot of impactful information. You guys know it too. So I think customer retention is very, very important in the early on stages. Okay, growth is too. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you not to grow, not to continue to market, not to continue to, have your ads circulating and picking up new content. I'm not telling you that. But you definitely have to retain the contracts that you already picked up, or your business is going to take longer to get to the heights where you want it to get to. Okay, absolutely smash the like button. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind, guys, because like I say, I was not arguing, but pretty much debating back and forth with one of the guys on the coaching. And he's like, no, Fabio, I totally disagree. Okay, what are you in business for? Are you in business to just retain and stay stagnant, or are you in a business to make a profit and grow? I said, well, obviously, I want to grow, right? I say, I want to grow. But I say, you have to be able to retain the current clients that you have, right? Because that's part of the growth process. Okay, that's part of the growth. If you can't retain what you have no business, right? For an example, people that buy Nike shoes or Jordans or whatever, Jordan have a great customer retention. Okay, now he more or less sell, instead of a service, he sell a product, but he has him and Nike, which I think he owned a great portion of Nike now, if not majority of Nike. He up there, one of the owners. Jordan and Nike have a great customer retention rate. They have a great customer retention rate. Every time Jordan drop a shoe, right, his shoe go platinum, in sales and revenue. People still buying Jordans to this day. It could be the old version, it could be a new Jordan, whatever the case is. People are still buying Jordans to this day. Now, I can remember back in school, and a lot of you guys probably can remember the same thing, where people would skip school and go wait and get the Jordans, right? They'll skip school and stand outside in the line just to get the Jordans at the mall or at the outlet or whatever the case is. Now, I haven't been in school for a very, very long time, right? And I'm talking about high school, right? I haven't been in school for a very, very long time, although it's not as, when it comes to Jordan, it's not as, to the point where they're sending out outside of stores. Maybe certain editions of shoes, they still do it. He still have a great customer retention base. And I'm just using Jordan because he has a product, and I'm showing you guys, I'm trying to give you a visual of what I'm talking about. If Jordan customer retention was great back when I was in high school, and it's still great today where people still go out and buy the Jordans, okay? Now they might, like I say, they might not go crazy about Jordan, but they still go out and purchase the Jordans. He have returning clients, returning customers. Then it would be safe to say, from the time I started high school up until this point now, going through graduation and college and all of that stuff, Jordan has had a foundation built, and he has a large customer retention base. He retained customers. He have reoccurring customers. Reoccurring customers. They keep on coming back, no matter how many shoes or what color scheme he got on them or whatever number he gave them, whatever name he gave them. Jordan shoes keep selling. Okay, now if Jordan wasn't able to retain his customers, then Jordan business as a whole, I feel like personally, wouldn't necessarily got to the magnitude where it is today, right? Okay, so we know he made a lot of money with basketball. Okay, there's no denying that. Okay, but we're talking about with the product itself. Okay, which now he does a clothing line, he got cologne, he does a lot of different things now, right? But if he wasn't able to retain those clients, and then he had, just new clients coming on, he wouldn't grow to the magnitude that he's at today if he wasn't able to have those reoccurring clients, right? So let's say, for an example, somebody bought the Jordan shoe, and I'm gonna get off of Jordan in a minute, but they bought the Jordan shoe and then they never returned. Well, it makes it a little bit harder because now Jordan company as a whole has to market to new people and they get new people excited about the Jordans. Whereas the retention level, right, having the clients that he's already had for X amount of years, he can already in his mind say, you know what, I have a base that's already going to keep buying from me. They're already going to, as soon as I release this shoe, they're going to keep buying this Jordan. Whatever name he give it, they're going to keep buying the Jordan. Now in his mind, because he know he has it sold up on the retention side, he know he's going to have a reoccurring client that's going to come back and buy the shoe again. Now he can think about marketing on a larger base to other people that may not be as familiar about Michael Jordan shoes or Michael Jordan brand as his reoccurring clients. Okay, so again, that's why retention is so, and I just used the product just to show you guys how it relates to just a service. Okay, and this goes for anybody, Comcast cable, your utility company, Georgia Power, wherever you're at, right? They feed Netflix is a great example. Customer retention. Yes, they want to get new people to sign on to the platform. They want to get people to subscribe to Netflix. But at the end of the day, Netflix makes its money off of customer retention, retaining clients, reoccurring clients. So again, to bring this all home, guys, and hopefully you understand what I'm saying from the beginning, because a lot of you guys is watching me, you're not making 10 grand a month, 15 grand a month, 20 grand, 25, 35 grand a month, right? You're not at that level yet, right? So you might be making a couple $1,000 a month, and hope I'm not offending anybody. I mean, I got people on here that's probably making 15, 20 a month, which is fair. It's livable and stuff like that, right? At the end of the day, retention is everything. Retention is everything. Okay. So I'm not telling you not to pick up new contracts, not to grow. Okay. Because if you're in business, you got to make a profit. You want to grow. Okay. That's very important. But you have to be able to retain what you currently have. Okay. Hopefully you guys understand. If you guys don't understand what I'm saying, or if you got a question about what I'm saying, go ahead. Leave it right here on the comments. Throw them at me, because I want to make sure you guys understand why I say it's very important to retain your current clients, right? Versus worry about how many contracts you get, right? You're worrying about the span of how many contracts you can get, and you're losing focus on the retention, like keeping the current clients happy. Okay, because once you got that as a system and you got that in the bag, then that's going to run itself, right? Providing you give them the same service, you're there on time, you're very polite, you cater to their needs, all of the things that I talked about earlier in this video. As long as you keep providing that same quality, that same texture of service, do you have an email I can reach you at? Yes, that'll be Hollywoodjanitorialserv at gmail.com. Okay, Hollywoodjanitorialserv, SERV at gmail.com. Hollywoodjanitorialserv. Somebody could pin it right here for me, right here on the live, for the person. But yeah, that's where I could be reached. It'll go to my, well, I'll get it too, but usually my assistants check it. Okay, so whatever you're gonna send, or whatever questions or whatever you have, you can definitely send it there. Hollywoodjanitorialserv at gmail.com. Okay, so make sure you guys understand that. If you don't understand that, or if you want to debate me about it, if you say, well, Fabio, I disagree, and here's why, let's talk about it, right? Because I want to get different perspectives about it. That's why I chose to go this route. I had another video in mind that I was going to do, but I do think that a lot of people, when they first start off, they think, I got to keep getting contracts, right? Because it is a rush. It's a rush to it, right? And what I mean a rush, I mean a gut feeling. When you get that first one, you're like, okay, great. I got this first one. This first one was $500 or whatever the case is. Now, if I can get another one at 500, that's $1,000 a month. If I can get another one at 5, that's 1,500 a month. If I can get another one at 5, because that's how it was. My first contract was $300 for the entire month, right? That's my first contract. So I'm thinking in my head, what the hell am I going to do with $300? But it was better than what I was currently bringing in, because at the time I didn't have a job, right? I had to hustle and bustle and put in sweat equity, right? So my first contract was $300. So immediately I was thinking, like some of you guys thought, I need to hurry up and get another contract, because I can't do much with $300. I need to keep building this thing, right? Okay, so I didn't lose contracts very fast along the way. Eventually, over time, you lose because of maybe mistakes of your own, because somebody came in and underbid it what your numbers was, or anywhere in between, right? There's a lot of different reasons why you can lose contracts, okay? But I was focused on the contract at hand, right? Especially my very first contract, because that was my only contract. So I babied the crap out of that first contract, right? Because I didn't, number one, I didn't have any more. And number two, I couldn't afford to lose that, because then I'm going to be right back down to zero income coming in. Okay. Now you guys got to remember, a lot of you guys got it made in the shade with a glass of lemonade, because you actually have a job. When I first started in 2012, I had money in the bank that was dwindling, right? Because of stuff, I had to buy stuff, right? Day to day. Somebody asked me for a loan, a lot of different stuff. So the money is going out, but nothing is going in. So I'm thinking, like, I need to get some contracts, right? I already invested in this course that was $200, right? I read that from cover to cover, sat on it for about 2 weeks, 14 days or so, right? And then I just started calling phones. I didn't get no traction calling for you guys know my story, right? Then I started going door to door. I wanted to get a contract in the first 60 days, and I got a contract within the first 90 days. And that first contract was $300, right? So again, $300 wasn't a lot, but it was better than what I had coming in. I could depend on that $300, providing that I offered great service and provided great service. So again, guys, if you don't understand what I'm saying about customer retention, meaning maintaining your current clients versus building your clientele, building your customer base up. If you don't understand that, just throw it out. Let's talk about it. Let's debate it. Let's talk about it. Don't be shy, because I just want to make sure you guys have a hand on this, as I did with the guy that was on my coaching. Right now, he understands it, but it's up to him if he want to listen to me. It's up to him if he want to listen to me. His thing, he was adamant about that. It was very important that he build his company and he always stay looking for new contracts. I never said stop marketing for new contracts, right? I'm not going to get on here and say, hey, just focus on this contract. You got this one contract, focused on it, and don't market, don't advertise, don't do anything. Don't try to inquire about it. Don't do no walkthroughs. I'm not telling you guys that. You should always be marketing. All right. I tell people all the time, run your business like a presidential campaign. That's how I operate my business, right? Run your business like a presidential campaign. And this means you're just going to use all type of platforms, whatever you can afford. I usually tell people start with the low to no cost marketing methods, door to door, picking up your phones, that type of thing, right? Instead of getting out to direct mail, that's going to cost money for the paper, for the flyers, the envelopes, the stamps, the posting, right? It's going to cost money and it can rack up really, really fast. The pay-per-click, advertising on Google, right? The Google ad, all of that stuff, right? It might not be a whole hell of a lot of money, but it'll cost you money. And if money is a factor and you don't have it, then I tell people to start with the free methods, word of mouth, networking, right? Going somewhere, and the libraries, the bookstore, wherever, right? The coffee shops, wherever, networking, telling people about your business, going door to door. This is stuff, what I like to call it, like sweat equity, putting in sweat equity to do this, right? It doesn't take a lot of money to do this. Okay. So again, this is why I say customer retention means everything in the very, very beginning, right? Because if you just worry about growing very fast in the early on stages, I can assure you, you're going to lose your socks in these other contracts that you already have, because you're not focusing on these contracts. You're focusing on how many contracts I can get, right? How I can double or even triple what I'm currently making at this one contract. So I want to get bigger contracts. Okay. Like I say, it's very important to grow. And I'm not telling you not to market. Stay marketing. Always be marketing. All right. Always be marketing for whatever you can afford. Facebook ads, whatever you can afford to do. Sweat equity, picking up the phones, going door to door, whatever you can do. Always be marketing, but don't lose your shoes in the current clients that you already have, right? Don't worry about how fast you can grow it. If you can grow it fast, obviously it is good, but you still got to retain. Going back to the example about building a house brick by brick. If you start the foundation today and you got a weak foundation, you didn't cement it right or whatever the case is, and you build 15 bricks today, this is the start. This is all you can do today. But you come back and you see that your foundation is crumbled because you lost 4 bricks. Not only do you have to replace those 4 bricks, but you got to still keep building. And it's going to take you longer to build this house that you're trying to build because your foundation is weak. You're not retaining the bricks, right? So whatever you're doing to cement the bricks, you're using you might have to change your cement up or whatever, however trying to pack these bricks together. You might have to change that up, or you might have to kind of reevaluate how you're supposed to build this house, right? Brick by brick. You might have to come up with a different cement formula, right? Because apparently you're losing bricks, which is going to cause you it's going to take you a longer time to build this house because your foundation is weak. Your foundation is weak. Okay. So every time you come back tomorrow, you come back the next, thank you. Awesome. Every time you come back, you're going to be like, what the hell? I got to start all over. And that's exactly what's going to happen if you're thinking about getting into this business and growing very, very fast in the early on stages. Customer retention means a lot. I'm not saying don't advertise. Let me keep saying that because somebody is going to say, but he don't know what he's talking about because growing, how you going to start making money? Okay, you just said you made $300 your very first contract. Okay, so what you going to make $300 for the next 6 months? What? No, that's not what I'm saying. I didn't say that, I got my very first contract and I stopped advertising. I said I got my very first contract and I babied that contract, right? You're always going to be advertising. Every business should be advertising. Run your business like a presidential campaign. Presidents use the internet when they start campaigning. They use yard signs and bandit signs. They use the internet. They use bumper stickers. They go door to door. They use flyers. They do word of mouth. They do conferences. They open up little pop-up shops in your area, and they get on the loudspeaker and get the megaphone and get to telling you why you should vote for them. And they use social media. They use public relations. They use radio advertising. They use all sorts. They use billboards. They use everything. That's what I mean by running your business like a presidential campaign. You use everything, right? What works, do more of it. What don't work, you can fall back from it. That doesn't mean it doesn't work. You might just have to reevaluate the message that you put out, right? Maybe it's not the advertisement or the platform itself. Maybe it's your advertising. Maybe it's your material, right? So that could be a possibility. Okay, so that's what I mean by running your business like a presidential campaign, and that's 365 days a year, whatever you can afford. Now, I'm not telling you go broke trying to do it, but whatever you can afford to do it. I'm just saying start with the low to no cost methods first. Door to door, picking up the phones, word of mouth, networking here, not joining networking groups because it's going to cost you to do that. But, going out networking, like a method I tell people all the time, and I'm going to refer back to this, and it's been a while since I talked about it, is I couldn't join no networking club because it costs money, right? So I got this thing, smartphone, right? Smartphone, okay? And I'm looking at the total amount at the time. I probably had over 200 people in my phone. So what I did was craft, a little text message, and I sent that text message to everybody in my phone to give me at least two companies or two, homeowners or whatever, right? Because I was doing homes to two companies that they could think of that I can, go in and solicit for business, right? Just two. It could be a doctor's office, it could be your church, it could be whoever, right? And I use that because sometimes people will be like, well, my mom worked at this doctor's office and my mom worked at this clinic. My mom is a manager here. And I use that as leverage. So whereas my friend might have told me about a place his mom worked at and maybe a dealership his dad worked at or his uncle worked at, I can use that as leverage, right? Because based on the relationship that I have with the person in my phone, they gave me two people. I didn't ask for five. I wanted more, but I know it's hard to get people that you talk to on a regular basis or see on a regular basis. It's hard to even get one person from them, okay? So I didn't want to bombard them and say, hey, give me five people. Just give me two companies that you do business with that you might have an affiliation with or whatever the case is, and I got it from there. Just give me the name and the number, and I'll work it from there. And that's how I got a lot of clients that I got today, right? And that was my form of networking. That was my form of just trying to get the word out and then take a lot of money. I already had people in my phone. Like you guys got your grandma. You can use your grandma, a dentist, right? You can say, grandma, who you have for a lawyer. You can use your dad, car dealership that he buys his vehicles through. You can use your grandpa. You can use your uncle. You can use your friend where she works. She just got hired at the plant. You say, hey, girl, I see you at a, she might say, well, girl, I'm going through a temp service. You say, okay, that's fine. That's cool. Where your company located at? She might say, oh, it's on 123 Oak Street. You say, oh, okay, great. Do they have a cleaning company that you know of? She might say, well, girl, I just started. I don't know. You can say, well, can you check around or can you ask about, if they have a cleaning company? And just get back to me tonight, like when you get off or whatever the case is. Little ways like this, you'll be amazed how you can just get into places because you might not even know about this plant. This might be on the other side of town. You never even heard about it. It's in another county. But this is ways that I grew my business in the early on stages outside of going door to door and making phone calls. Okay. I just crafted a 2-3 line, a little ad, right? And I sent it one by one. I couldn't send it as a mass text because I had, multiple girls, and to tell you who number is who. So I had to do it the long way, cut and paste, one by one, one by one. I'm like, I can't have the girls know, about the other girl at the time, right? So cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste, right? The same message all the way through my phone. And they was like, okay, all right, I'm gonna see what I could do. They'll send me two people, the name of the company and the number, or they'll send me just the name, and I'll just have to Google for the number. And I'll ask them, like, do you know, like, anybody at the company? Do you know any supervisors here? Is it somewhere you work? They might be like, no, my grandma worked there. Like, okay, cool. What's your grandma name? My grandma name is such and such, or you can call her Miss Woo Woo Woo, or when you call, just ask for Miss Who, right? And I can call, boom, call and say, hey, I'm friends with such and such. They referred me to you. So the reason for my call is, I want to know if you guys have a cleaning company, whatever I said back then. Okay, this works. And I feel like it can still work today. Based on the relationship, the grandma will be more than happy to help you. You say, you in a relationship with her daughter, or you're in a relationship with her grandson. She might be like, who gave you my number? Derek. Derek, my grandson Derek. Yes, yeah, your grandson Derek. He said that you work at this dealership and call, and you might be able to help me. Perhaps pick up the dealership as a contract. And what you do again? I have a commercial cleaning service. Guys, you see how this kind of works. So again, that was just, and now I see presidential people do that because they text your phone, vote for this person. You be like, how the hell they get my number? Right? Vote for this person, vote for that person. And I was doing that before they started doing that. They started this text message stuff. This is fairly new, right? They haven't been doing it for a long, long time. But that was a way that I thought to drum up new business. Okay, so I know I got off the topic. We were talking about customer retention versus growing your business. That was a way that I grew my business. Again, little things like that. That was just me thinking outside of the box. Texting everybody, let them know I had a business. You can use Facebook the same way. Hit your Facebook friends up and say, hey, who you go to for, who's your dentist, right? Or can you give me two businesses that you might be affiliated with that I could probably perhaps solicit to pick up for a contract, right? You can use the messenger, just inbox your friends, right? That you're really close with, because you don't know who, right? So they might not know a place, but they might be able to give you somebody else that knows somebody, right? And that person can give you somebody that knows somebody, and you can grow your business that way. And that's just what we call word of mouth, right? That's the cheaper side of way than being part of BNI and Chamber of Commerce groups and different things like that. That was just the way I thought of a long time ago. Okay, I haven't done it in a very long time, but I'm pretty sure you guys can build some type of traction for it from new people that might be trying to build a business, or just watching me for the first time, or just hearing about this. Okay, so great. Now that you guys understand why I say it's important to have customer retention, to keep the current customers that you have pleased and happy, still be marketing along the way, right? But don't lose track of the current customers, because you're trying to hurry up and grow and get to the next contract. Okay, that next contract will come. Okay, but again, you don't, referring back to the brick house, you don't want to lose the brick trying to go out and get another brick, right? You want to make sure you got this brick stable, this brick is in control, this brick is sturdy, and then you can still go out and build, right? This is all part of putting your systems together, guys. You guys know I'm about systems. That's why a lot of my contracts, I don't lose a lot of my contracts. And when I do lose a contract, a lot of times, every once and again, it'll be at my fault, at our company fault. But most of the time when I lose a contract, it's because it's underbidded, right? Somebody then came in, they, send us an email, send me a text message, tell one of my people, or whatever the case is, and we'll lose that contract because first they'll ask us, will we be okay with dropping the numbers? And if I gave you a number, I feel pretty confident that the number was feasible. Okay, it was a fair number. So a lot of times I don't, depending on the contract, I don't come down on the numbers. Okay, a lot of times I don't. Okay, so then I lose the contract because you got to think I still got payroll, you still got taxes to pay, you still got overhead, even though it's kind of light. You still got to make a profit. You still got your personal bills. You still got like miscellaneous bill. You got kids, doctor appointment, whatever, kids and different things like this, right? For those that might have it, I don't have any. So you still have these. So you have to maintain a certain level of income. Another thing I'm going to talk about, guys, and this wasn't part of this video, is that the way I crafted my income early on is by physically getting one of these, getting one of these, and getting one of these, a pen and paper. And I strategically said how much I needed to make, how much I wanted to make, right? And I kind of crafted out. So I said, for an example, if I said I wanted to make $5,000 a month, then I kind of wrote, in my head how many contracts I need and about how much I had to make each contract to meet that goal. And then when I made $5,000 a month, I did the same thing to make $10,000 a month. And then I did the same thing to make $15,000 a month. Guys, you need to start writing out a plan for about how much you want to make per month, right? This is the strategic way to do it. How much you want to make per month. You craft out the plan, and then you have to execute on that, right? So you need to know about how many accounts you need and about how much you need to make per account to meet that goal. And then when you meet that goal, don't get complacent, don't get stagnant, don't get comfortable, don't get lethargic, right? Still 10x that, right? Do what you did to get the 5 to get the 10. What you did to get the 10 to get the 15, okay? But it's going to start with a pen and some paper, guys. It don't take a lot of time to do that. Just be fair with your numbers. Don't sit down and say well, I need to make $100,000 a month, right? Because if you've never made $100,000 a month, in your mind, it's going to seem very, very impossible. It's going to seem unattainable, undoable, right? You're going to feel like I can never make this a month. And you probably can, but because you never seen that type of revenue per month, it's going to seem impossible. It's going to seem like you can't get to it. So start with bite-sized goals. Most people say, I don't agree with them. I think you should think big. Because you break it down to bite-sized pieces don't mean you're not thinking big, right? You're just being strategic how you think about it, and you're going about it a different way. So your ultimate goal might be to make 6 figures a month. And while it's incredibly doable, you have to break it down to bite-sized pieces, right? To be able to obtain that 6-figure level income per month, okay? So that's what I'm here to say to you guys too. I wanted to kind of throw that in there because a lot of you guys don't have a plan. I'm not saying that you need a business plan. That's different. But you need to have a financial plan and a way to go about to get those contracts. You need to know about how many contracts you need, how much you need to be able to charge them to make the money that you're trying to make in the early on stages. And then once you reach that goal, set up another goal, whether you double it or whether you triple it. Okay, set up another goal. How many more contracts you need to get to the next goal, and so forth and so forth. Okay, I still do that. That's the way I kind of look at business to this day too, right? I still do that to this day, guys. I write down, see where I'm at monthly, see where I'm at annually, and I kind of go based on annually now. I see what I'm annually making, and I give myself a fair amount of time, and I give myself a fair dollar amount, right? I don't say, well, I need to make $5 million a year. Okay, it's doable, but I've never made $5 million a year. Okay, so if I'm going to get to that $5 million a year, I need to break it down in bite-sized, achievable, bite-sized, achievable ways to get there, right? And then when I get there, I can worry about $8 million a year, whatever the case is, right? You see where I'm going with it, right? You got to break it down to doable sizes, bite sizes, achieve it, and then keep moving along, right? Keep expanding. Okay, so hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from with that. If you have any questions about the customer retention versus growing your cleaning business, you can always email me at Hollywoodjanitorialserv at gmail.com, Hollywoodjanitorialserv at gmail.com. Serv is SERV. If you're interested in the coaching, guys, remember the last day for my coaching is February the 15th. Okay. We're not offering the lead generation no more because I got so many people to do that at the rate that we were selling it for that we're not offering. The only way that you can get lead generation at all is if you go through my annual coaching, the 12-month coaching. Okay, then you get 6 months of lead generation. If you get the 3-month coaching plan, that's straight coaching. I want to make that clear because we have received emails about it and people say, well, why would I get this when I can get that? Right. So my people have explained that to them. In the 6-month coaching, all that is coaching, straight coaching, right? In the 12-month, you get coaching and you get lead generation. Okay. And then we still have the hourly coaching for those that just want to sit down and talk to me for an hour, maybe craft something for an hour. They may already be up and running. They might say, well, you know what, I want to pick his brain for an hour. That's $150, right? Just for that. Again, we cut all of the prices down. Okay. The paperwork is no longer included in the annual coaching. It used to be. So for people that got paperwork and coaching and lead generation back in the past, that used to be the way I ran it. I realized that I was really cutting myself short because of the value that I offer by including the paperwork in that. I was going to raise the price up more, and it'll probably been to a point where you guys weren't able to afford it, or I would have to take the paperwork out and sell the paperwork by itself. Okay, which is what I did. Okay, so you got the paperwork, the lead generation that's on. The only lead generation that's left is if you get the 12-month coaching, and then you got the 3-month, not 3 month, you got the 6-month coaching. Okay, again, but you have until February the 15th, guys. If you're interested in it at all, I would suggest that you go, not because it costs more, but I would suggest that you get the annual program. Number one, because it gives you more time with me, right? It gives you more time with me. It gives you more time to develop your system. It gives you more time for the coaching to get your answers, your questions answered. It just gives you more time along the way on a broader scale. So just imagine you paid $900 for annual coaching for 12 months, and just imagine what we could turn that $900 into, right? You and I going back and forth, helping you get contracts, helping you close, helping you with your lead generation and all of that stuff, right? Same thing with the 6 month. The 6 month, the person might say, well, you know what, I don't need lead generation. I'm okay with that. I just do the coaching. I would love to have his brain for 6 months and, see what other methods he use or whatever. Because there's certain things that I don't even talk about on YouTube, right? I leave straight for coaching. So it could be something that's a little bit different, something that's a little fresh that you haven't heard me talk about on videos. And I'm always, crafting and coming up with new ways and new ideas to do things, okay? Same thing with the hourly coaching. Okay. If you want to sit down, you got your business, you're already making 25K a month, 30K a month, you feel sufficient, but you say, you know what, I'll sit down with them. I'll pay the $150, for the hour coaching, sit down with them and really rack his brain. Then you can go that route too. Paperwork is totally up to you guys. Everything is on the community tab, all the type of paperwork, and I had it put on the community tab if you want to see all the forms and whatever you're going to get, okay, for the money that you're paying. So it's all on my community tab, or just email us and put paperwork right in there, and my people will send it over. Jasmine or Alexis will send it right over to you what you're going to receive for the money that you're paying, okay? So I did want to make sure that I put that in there for those that's interested. If you're interested, great. We've getting a great response. I'm getting an incredible response now because people know it's coming down to crunch time. February the 15th is the last day that I will be offering any coaching. After that, you won't hear me talk about paper. You probably will hear me talk about it, but I won't be offering it. You probably hear me talk about mentors and coaches, but I won't be personally offering the service no more. Okay? So after February the 15th, there absolutely will not be no more coaching from me. For the people that's already in the coaching, they can always redo it when it's up. So if you're in an annual coaching and you say, you know what, I want another year with you, because you were already in, you can pay again and keep going with me. Okay. Lead generation the same way, right? I won't stop that. If you're making money, people, why would they stop it? If you're getting the lead generation and you're actually getting the leads and you're turning the leads into clients, why would you stop it, right? You would probably want to keep going. So again, uh, it's entirely up to you guys, however you want to do it, wherever you want to start. I would suggest, of course, the longer program, because Rome wasn't built in a day. And I do think if you give me your undivided attention and you work with me for over the course of 12 months, I do feel like you can maximize your business and you can grow it just expand incredibly. Like you could just, roll the long way, right? Um, so that's that. You guys have any questions? I'll be more than happy to entertain them. Sweet dreams. Sweet dreams for him, 69. I like that name. Sweet dreams for him. Hope it's for me. No, I'm just joking. King V. Yeah, go ahead, email me, Leslie. How you doing? Joe Williams, what's up, bud? Kay, loving me. Let me see. Kay said she loving her. Okay. Leslie, okay. R. Melendez. Guys, if you haven't liked the video, go ahead and like the video. Again, if I talked about anything and you're unclear about something, let's go ahead and clear it up right here. There's no sense of waiting till I get off of here and emailing and say, hey, can you explain this more, when I can just talk to you right now and explain it to you. Again, if you're looking for coaching, annual coaching, you're looking for the 6-month coaching, just put in the description when you email me 6-month coaching, right? So my people would know. Or you could put annual coaching or 12-month coaching right in the subject headline of your email. Paperwork right in the subject headline. Hourly coaching, right? Or hour coaching, right? Right in the headline. So my people would know, so we know how to deal with you. Again, guys, do you have any questions? Are you a little unclear on anything that I've talked about thus far? So I can go ahead and clear it up. I just want to make sure. Just want to make sure. Good night, everyone. Okay, good night. DJ the Boss, good night. Yeah. You guys have any questions? Alrighty. Well, that's going to be the live for today. My next live will come. As you guys know, I do the lives on Tuesday and Thursday. Well, tomorrow will be, what's today? Thursday? Almost? Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. So my next live will be tomorrow, because I'm making up for what I didn't do yesterday. So I will come back tomorrow definitely with another live. Also, guys, if you have any tips of anything you want me to talk about, leave them on the video, or you can email them over to me. Like if you have a video subject matter or anything you want me to talk about, I probably have about 15 to 20 different ideas written down already. That's just in the pipeline for me to talk about. It's just like I gotta make my way to it. I felt that this will probably be, very, very important. Thank you for your help. Thank you, BP, man. Thank you for watching me. I want to thank everybody for watching me. I really appreciate you guys and the loyalty that you guys have to me. And for taking up for me. I hear somebody told me on the email that maybe some other YouTuber was kind of shading me a little bit. And so, not directly, but they figured it was for me. And we got the Heart Gang over here. I don't know. I just made that up. We the Heart Gang. So thank y'all for definitely supporting me and sticking up for me. But again, guys, like I say, if you have any further questions or any video ideas or whatever, I can add them to my list of videos to do, and I'm gonna just try to knock them out. Right? I'm trying to stay more consistent, give you guys great content, try to change it up, try to motivate you in the same breath, and try to help you grow your business, man. Get it either expand or help you get it started. Okay. So I think that's gonna wrap it up for now. Again, my next video will come tomorrow. The only person that could ever stop you from starting up your own dreams and making it to the top is you. Guys, take care, good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.